Got some problems here, bud. Well, firstly, let's take your bore model out. Get your circle. And we want to get that circle down here to just the Gaussian, right? Radial moving right. That's time. That's the Zeno's paradox of early universe and infinite future, where we don't really know the cutoffs yet. And that's the first kind of thing about FTL, XYZ. They can put you in different locations. They mean the same thing, XYZ, but they're qubits, so I'm not really sure on which way the operator is, or the GPT pump out on circle, radial, bomb. Okay, it's nuke and just went off. Knowing about that in the operating system here is a little bit tricky, isn't it? You have to consider for a moment that maybe some Windtalker zombie memes over there were necessary, in such that the Astrodome over there went to the radial of exactly the kilotons that are necessary for the zombies that you have down there. Obviously, in an ideal situation or model, you have this nuclear Smith chart that correlates to why a time frequency is a wavelet or a ping in some analysis. Wow. Well, what does that mean? Well, that means a lot of things, but only because this thing over here banged into this other thing. Ultra-relativistic. Now, being ultra-relativistic, that's a pretty weak pin in terms of what I'm looking at right now at the moment. Sunshine, giving me all kinds of radio burst inside here. Also, light on the spectrum of things that are the nuclear model on a solar panel, right? Say these are the proper metals and configurations of their atomic bonds, chains, DNA sequence. It's alive, and it's basically picking up photons by the way it comes into ping, but very weak. It's kind of fluffy. Maybe their core in here, you could say that. Yeah, inside there, I understand the video game thesis. Humans can't really handle that nuclear explosion, the radio comms operator. If you're thinking about a fast quasar burst down inside of there, how do I lens that? Knowing that there's a way to kind of limit down what's out there. Maybe not exactly what it's doing or how resolute that may be. Penned in iron, blood apparently, hemoglobin. But probably more signature down here than the whole thing. It seems like I'd waste a lot of rookie blood on that. It's just going to come up to be a problem later, and probability of the multimetrics here are going to get in some parts later. Sure.
FTL tech this way, you imbeciles, and are as of the top.
Thank you very much, Wizard. That'll do. So yeah, you're going to want to slide in a lot more math inside of here too. Get this up and scrolling, because this is light. This is one of the spectrums of it. It's a photon at that point in time, defined by alpha, that is going to say his relativistic frame of reference. I'd have to geodesic or run some operating system by nodes. It kind of cuts off the and or d flip-flop, some logic, some non, some nan, some nords. Some, I get where you're coming from. I'm not exactly sure where you're coming from to be exactly what that is here, or how 4/3. I've seen that some today in some wave functions, which I guess if you're getting away from 1 and 0, you would need something to be like, well, what is 1 and 0 out of 7? Honestly, you just got to know the SCP like that. 734, I think, is the devil deal. It's something in the 730s. It's 35. Kane, of course, is going to be 73, and 76 over there is Abel. You got 173, 682. You got the 72 demons. You got Solomon's Dragon, which isn't exactly a demon, which brings into the whole question, what is the 36 spirits? And it's all about how you're going to get John, Luke, Mary, Tom, Dick, and Harry over there with some bottle caps explaining to the Shogun that the spinner map over here has America and Brazil on this side of it, and this one over here, and at some point in time, those ones over there in the British, they were like so egotistical that they thought they just own you, China. They come around this side of the map and tag, gotcha. And you didn't know. You didn't know any of those 05s at that point in time. Well, surprise, I'm going to need you and your army to hook up inside here and do some protracted warfare with me for a minute. Tag launch.